me. Wow. They're great. All right, let me introduce myself first. I've been around airplanes since I was this guy, 5 years old. First time I was flying, I was with my dad. I was flying a jumbo jet. Not on the controls, but just standing out there in the cockpit and watching the TV. Pretty high cockpit. 747. And I've been around airplanes for almost 37 years. I always got fascinated by airplanes since I was 5 years old, and I always liked airplanes, and I always wanted to fly them. So when I was old enough, I actually took myself through training and learned how to fly them. I got all my ratings and became an instructor. I was flying for the airline for about 12 years, so I decided to go back to teaching and educate other people how to fly and how to fly airplanes. I don't know if we're going to do more of these. We'll see how you guys like it. If you're fascinated by airplanes and you want to get more of those presentations and lessons about flying, we're going to do more of those. If you're not interested, this will be a one-time thing. Today, what we're going to be discussing is the basics, which is how would the airplane take off? Okay? What we're going to do today is do the short field takeoff and maximum performance climb for the aircraft. Okay? Let's talk about what is a short field takeoff and maximum performance climb. A short field takeoff and maximum performance climb is a maximum performance operation. It does require the proper procedure and technique for the pilot to get up in the air as quickly as possible. Number one, because we have a short runway or we have an obstacle on the departure end of the runway that we have to clear, just like so. Why do we need to learn that as pilots? In case we encounter a situation where we have a short airstrip with not enough room, we want to be able to take that aircraft safely and clear the obstacle without running off on the departure end. Now let's talk about the maneuver. Okay? We're going to take the aircraft through our pre-takeoff checklist on the departure end, just like so. Okay? We'll do our checklist, which is the run-up check. Make sure all the instrumentation on the aircraft are operating properly before departure. We're going to check the flight controls to make sure everything is in safe order. And we're going to taxi into the runway. We're going to look out the window to make sure there's no other aircraft coming left or right as we're departing. Okay? We're going to complete our pre-takeoff checks. And we're going to advance the throttle. Preparation for takeoff. As we're advancing the throttle, we're going to take another look at the instruments to make sure all the instruments are on the green and everything's working properly. We're going to hold the brakes while we do so, just to make sure we're going to get maximum available power. And again, that's because we have an obstacle on the departure end, or it's a short runway, which comes back to it's a maximum performance operation. We're going to release the brakes, just like you're driving a car. Release the brakes. Aircraft's going to start accelerating on the runway. We're going to maintain that runway center line. We're going to wait for one speed, which is about 50. Just like you're riding your bicycle. Looking for 10 miles an hour. Same thing with the airplane. We're looking for 50. When we hit 50, we're going to rotate and lift out. When I say rotate and lift out, that's going to mean we're going to apply back pressure in the control wheel. Just like you're riding your bicycle, you're going to apply back pressure in the control wheel. And we're going to make that airplane airborne. Okay? As the airplane becomes airborne, you're going to be flying. There's no more driving on the ground. You're actually flying the airplane like a bird. Okay? So far so good. Rotate and lift off at 50. And as we're climbing up, we're going to hold certain pitch attitudes. When we're looking out the window, we're going to see the nose of the aircraft way above the tree line. Because we're holding that pitch attitude to get that maximum climb. Over here, we're going to hold about 60. To clear the obstacle. As we clear the obstacle on the takeoff, we can go ahead and accelerate. And when I say accelerate, I mean tilt more speed in preparation for the normal climb out, which is about 80. So to summarize what we learned today is a short field takeoff for the maximum performance climb on this aircraft. We do that when we have a short runway because we have an obstacle in the departure end that we need to clear, or we have a short runway, which is minimum. Do you have any questions for me? One at a time. Let's start from here.
What would happen if it's
We'll go clockwise. So I'll go with him and then kind of slowly clear it up. That's okay with you guys. Okay, so clockwise.
They were right at the 50 and the throttle got stuck. The throttle got stuck.
Throttle got stuck in the 50.
Yeah, and it's going up.
That's a very, very interesting question that I haven't heard before. Now let's discuss the throttle for this. This is your throttle. Okay? It can go full forward, which is maximum power. It can go all the way back, which is idle. Okay? The proper procedure is actually to advance the throttle all the way to full and hold your hand in that position. So when you're taking off, you got your hand on the throttle all the way in there. Now when you're saying it got stuck, is it stuck at idle or it's stuck at full power?
Full power.
Stuck at full power.
Yeah, like if they're going to like push it forward, but it gets stuck.
Uh-huh.
And they're already trying, and it's like a 50 already. Like they're trying to go fast enough, and they can't because the throttle is stuck. What would happen?
Okay, well if it's stuck full forward, you got max power available, which means you're not going to have any issues performing this maneuver.
Like it's stuck in the middle.
If it's stuck in the middle, okay? So as I mentioned before, you're going to have your hand on the throttle all the way forward. And you keep that hand forward to take off until safe altitude is reached, which is about 500 feet. So if you're going to keep your hand on the throttle throughout the takeoff roll, you would have the power where it's supposed to be, which is pull forward at max power. If by mistake you move it back and it gets stuck back in that position when you move it back, that could be a bad scenario. But usually it doesn't happen if you have your hand on the throttle. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Kind of?
Yeah.
Good. Nice smile. What's your name? Maria?
Mariah.
Mariah? Wonderful, Mariah. It looks like you have a question, but I'm not sure. From your look, something is not clear. Maybe I was too fast. Not the case. You're too shy. Okay. So what about you? Do you have any questions? Okay. Weapon. Don't you love kids? Wonderful question. No weapon. No weapon. This is basically a way for you to get airborne. We're not trying to go into war. We're going to keep the peace. And we're going to take off and go have fun and come back to land. So no weapons. Next question. That's a very, very good question. That's a very good question. Now, what we talked about here is the short field takeoff and maximum performance climb. If you're looking at a long runway, you're not going to do this because you don't have an obstacle and you have a long runway. So everything will be normal. The reason I got this here is to get you guys up for more questions because it's a little bit more complex than the normal takeoff. But basically when we're doing a normal takeoff, we don't have an obstacle and we have a long enough runway, so we don't have to change our pitch. It's going to be straightforward. We're going to advance the power. We're going to accelerate, wait for rotation speed and lift off and get the airplane up in the air and just establish the same pitch attitude for the climb, which is a certain speed, which is 80 all the time. So it's less complex. But there is a difference between a short runway and a long one. Next. I'm sorry? That is a very good question. And to answer that question, I have to come back at you with too much wind. We're going to get back to you. We're going to go clockwise and then keep rolling clockwise until we finish all the questions. So too much wind. The question I have for you is the too much wind straight down the runway or in an angle? Because it does matter where the wind's coming from if you want to safely get the airplane airborne. No, I'm sorry about interrupting, but do we have any, because it looks like questions are kind of coming up. Do you have any time management guidelines?
We do have a busy Friday morning, so we'll keep going.
We'll keep going.
What about the fire alarm?
Oh, at 9:35. Great, then we pay attention. Yeah, at 9:35 the fire alarm will go off.
Okay.
And we will evacuate.
Okay, so we got about 7 minutes.
That'll be our time, right?
We're going to expedite
Thanks for
this.
remembering that.
Rocket launch, question, wind. Where's the wind? Straight down the runway at an angle? You don't know. Let's keep it simple. The wind is very strong straight down the runway. If the wind is very strong straight down the runway, you're going to have more relative wind on the airflow, on the controls, on the wings, on the elevator. More relative wind.
What, everyone?
Thrust.
Drag. So wind is going to cause extra.
Drag.
We need more.
Thrust.
Okay? So, on an airplane side, the more wind will get you decreased in ground roll and more performance to clear the obstacle. So the wind on this aircraft straight down the runway will actually help the airplane get airborne quicker and you will have more performance. Let's keep it simple. So right there. Next question. You, buddy. Okay, hold on. You. The highest I've been was 41,000 feet.
What?
Next question, coach. Okay, one more question, quick. Okay. How do we make some room here on the board quickly? Is there a button?
We could erase it with this.
Or you can take
Okay, done. Basically, on the airplane, when you look on the nose of the aircraft, there you go. I'm used to dry erase board. I'm sorry, it's just digital age. Anyway, they have radar here on the front of the aircraft that's going to transmit a 30-degree angle, and you're going to have a radar screen in the airplane. And what you're going to do is you're going to see the storm, and you're going to go around the storm. 20 miles around the storm, no issues at all. We just go around it. You don't go into it. You, buddy. Do some airplanes have engines and propellers? Absolutely. That particular airplane here has an engine and a propeller. It's got a motor to propel and spin the propeller. So that particular engine or airplane has an engine and a propeller. That specific one has an engine and a propeller. Next. Again, that's a weapon. Okay. If it is a fighter jet, if it's a fighter jet and we're in the military, they will attach the weapon for the pilot. The pilot does not have to touch any weapon. All the pilot has to do is release the weapon. But this is warplane. That's not what we say. Next.
What's the best way to make a plane
Go far.
Yeah, so like, let's say for a living rocket, what would be a way?
And when you say far, how far, how much of a distance? Or you don't have, like, from here
No, it's just
Africa, from here to South America, how far? Like,
about 24 meters.
or you want to go from here to California? How far
Like that.
from here to California? It's called auxiliary fuel tank. I'm learning, slowly learning. So generally the airplane will have 2 fuel tanks, one in each wing. You can add auxiliary fuel tanks on the airplane and go as far as you want, as long as you're not exceeding the weight carrying capability of fuel. Okay? Next. Coming up on that line, 3 more minutes. Next. I'm sorry? Now, do you have any particular airplane in mind? A fighter jet can go straight up from sea level all the way up to 60,000 feet.
Whoa!
In 2 minutes, like a rocket, straight up.
Whoa!
Before it runs out of
Huge.
This particular airplane is not a jet, and it doesn't have a small jet. I'm sorry, we're going to have to keep moving. We got 2 more minutes next year. Any questions here on this side before we roll? 2 more minutes. Okay, let's go back this way. Yes.
What would happen how would you be able to avoid a tornado?
Again, there's going to be a radar screen. And it's going to give you those squares, which called convective signals. It's areas of bad weather. On the map, all you have to do is go around it at least 20 miles. And that should keep you out of trouble. If they have it on the map, all you have to do is go around. If there's no convective activity, there's no forecast for tornadoes. There's no tornadoes, period. Today in Vero Beach, there's no forecast for tornadoes, so you can fly here as much as you want. When there's a forecast for tornadoes, avoid it. Don't go in it. What's the sequence look like here? Okay. So? Very good. Wonderful. A lot of dads know about airplanes. Airplanes are fun. Remember that. Next. There you go, buddy. Can't remember the questions anymore. I think I had one here. There you go. There you go, buddy. Again, we're going back to the fuel tank question. Generally, on this type of airplane, you will go for about 500 miles before you run out of gas. 500 miles is from here to about North Carolina. If you add more auxiliary fuel tanks, you can go further than 500 miles. Those are pilot tests that any one of those guys here wants to put a pilot test that and feel like a pilot for a second. So go ahead. I'd say let's go clockwise. Okay, well everybody is becoming a pilot for 30 seconds. Any more questions?
Oh, I got one.
You have questions? Go ahead. What's the highest you can reach with any plane?
Like, what's the world record of the highest flight?
I would say 10,000 feet.
In the air?
In any airplane.
But you said 60,000.
60,000, that's a jet. But he was asking a question, how high can you reach with any airplane?
What about in the
Fastest plane on Earth? I would say, yeah, I would say it's stealth. They can go all the way up to 70,000, or even further. Depends on the atmospheric conditions. That particular airplane can go up real high, as far as 70 or even higher. Depends on the atmospheric temperature and conditions. More questions before you go? What is the temperature of?
Well, we're gonna.
Oh, the temperature. That's when you're really, really high.
When you what?
That's when you're really high. You can see how planet Earth is, like the round. Because you're so high, you can look straight down and you can see Earth, the curvature of the Earth. More questions? There you go, buddy.
Sit down, please. You guys are doing very well.
If you top off an F-18 with gas, you're looking at about 700 miles. They go very fast. When they do go fast, they burn more gas. So you want to slow it down so you can get to 700 miles. So you'll do about 600 miles an hour to take on time. Belby from Vero Beach to about Virginia. And you'll do it in about 3 hours.
3 hours?
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Come over, let's do it. Okay, first of all, we have to push this before the fire alarm goes, and there you go.
Oh, but one at a time. Everybody.
Oh, if it's
Ava
too
and
many
Mariah
people,
will
it
have to have
doesn't.
one hand on the screen at a time.